everyone. My name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel, Amber Reads Romance. Today I am here starting my vlog for another one of my 12 recs from 12 friends. For 2025, I decided I was going to vlog each of these books. We'll see if I keep up with it the entire year. But this is my second one. It's only February. Okay, anyways, this is my second one, and this is going to be for Misconduct by Penelope Douglas. This was actually recommended to me from, let me double check here, Sooks and Books, at Sooks and Books on Instagram. And she had actually seen that it was like on my want to read on my Goodreads list. So this is perfect because I needed to read some more Penelope Douglas. It's been a while since I've read their books. So this one I didn't really know a ton about, but I just noticed I had never read it. So I added it to my TBR way back. So I did start this late last night, kind of while I was playing video games, and I started the audiobook for it. So I will say that I'm not loving the narrators. Not the female narrator in this audiobook is really not working for me. So I'm hoping I'll be okay with it listening to it because it is on Audible Plus right now. So I really want to listen to the audiobook because I'm reading an arc at the same time right now. But right now I'm not loving the female narrator. The heroine is 23 in this. But the narrator sounds like she's in her 40s. She narrates really quickly, like very clipped and choppy. And it just doesn't flow right for me for some reason. I usually listen at 2.5 times speed, and it's usually fine for me. I have to slow it down for her because it's so much. And she does not sound like a young 23-year-old. You know, it's just not working. So hopefully I'll enjoy it. But in this, we have the heroine, and hold on, let me look it up because I don't even remember her name. Okay, sorry about that. So we have the heroine. Her name is Easton, and she actually is 23. She, I think, just got her master's degree, and she's starting teaching, which seems really young to already be like at it, but I don't know anything about that. So maybe she's just whatever. But she's teaching at a very posh, I think, like kind of private school where, you know, the parents can be a little over the top. Before she started this job, she actually had a run-in with the hero. His name was Tyler Merrick, and she ran into him at like this one mask kind of ball party. He wasn't wearing a mask, but she was. And they were very flirty. They were kind of like, you know, gonna hook up. She really doesn't do relationships. I think there might be some kind of previous trauma. And I think she might have OCD too. That's kind of, we've seen kind of instances where she's having some OCD issues. She used to play, I think, pro tennis. And so she was very driven with that, but I don't know too much about her history, what happened, but you can tell something kind of went down. So she kind of just has hookups. She doesn't really do relationships. And so she was kind of planning on hooking up with him that night, but things didn't work out. And she ends up like leaving, and I think he was up for some kind of, he seemed like he was like going to be a politician or something. And so they end up leaving that night. And then of course, he ends up being the dad of one of her students. And it was a student that's being kind of difficult. He's been split up with the mom for a long time. I think he had him when he was like 20. Him and his son don't have a great relationship. And the mother had moved with to Africa or just to do something. I can't remember. And so he wanted to keep his son in the States while she was living over there with her husband. And the son's really not that happy about this. And so he sees her. She pretends like she doesn't really remember him, but he kind of knows, like, I think I know you from somewhere. And he does figure it out pretty quickly. But he feels weird because she was very flirty and like open with him, but she's very cold with him. But it's because he's the parent of one of her students. And then he kind of comes off with like a little bit of an asshole because she's teaching in a different way. She's using social media and different things to hook the kids and make them participate in class. And he's like, oh, my son shouldn't be using social media, and like being very condescending and telling her how she should teach her students. And so I didn't really love that kind of attitude. But I'm just at the start. I don't think I'm really that far into it. So we'll see how I feel about this. I'm hoping the audiobook doesn't continue to annoy me because the heroine's voice is just like, ugh, I don't really love it. So anyways, that's Misconduct so far. I'm going to try and hopefully finish it today. I don't know if I'll have enough time. Because lo and behold, I'm actually doing my vlog starting my vlog right now. And I actually have makeup on because I swear every vlog, I always look tore up, but it's because I'm actually filming today. But I'm going to go ahead and get back to it now. I think I'm going to finally make some lunch and continue my laundry and listen to some more of that book. And I will check back in with you later. All right. See you in a bit. Hey guys. So I'm actually back with my last check-in here, but I did not have a great time with this book. I finished it yesterday at work, but it was a little bit late, so I didn't want to do check-in, like with lighting and everything. Anyways, but this was probably one of the worst Penelope Douglas books I've read. This is probably going to be a really short vlog because of this, because I didn't really have a ton to say. I did not like the characters. I didn't like the heroine. I didn't even like, the guy wasn't bad. The hero, I think his name was Tyler and then Easton. He was okay. He like just really didn't do anything for me. So sometimes if I don't like the heroine, the hero could rescue the book for me. And this hero is just meh and didn't really care about it. Now this is I'm kind of worried, like maybe I'm over Penelope Douglas because I feel like her books are just sexual. Like Birthday Girl and Punk 57 were like my faves. But I haven't really read that many from them that like I really like anymore. So maybe I'm beyond the Penelope Douglas. Maybe that just author just isn't for me anymore. But anyways, I don't even know where I left off when I first started this, but basically Easton is his son's teacher. They previously met at a party. It starts off very confrontational with him judging the way she's teaching the class and like telling her what she needs to do as a teacher. And that to me is just so fucking condescending and fuck you. Like you don't get to tell a teacher how to do their job. You're being very narrow-minded. So I didn't really like him there. And then the way she handled things, she was very immature. I mean, she was only 23, but it's like we're supposed to think that you're responsible enough to be like, have gotten a master's degree and become a teacher at a high-end school, yet like you're coming off like such a immature little bitch. So I don't know. I just didn't really like her. And then again, I have to complain. The fucking narration was brutal. It is one of the worst female narrators I've heard. She was so choppy. She was like rushed her words, like really clippy. There's no flow, no like emotion in her narration at all. She sounded like she was 20 years older than a 23-year-old, and it just didn't even fit the personality at all. So I really fucking hated this audiobook. I was going to change to read it on ebook, but it's not even on Kindle Unlimited. And I'm like, I don't know why this is on Kindle Unlimited. So I kind of had to listen to the audiobook. So that might have affected my rating, but honestly, the writing was not great. The character development was not great. This guy has like no relationship with his son. When he explains how he basically got a girl pregnant when he was 20, and then he kind of just threw money at her and didn't want to deal with his kid. And now his kid's like 14 and has like zero relationship. His mom's husband is like really his dad. And now he's forced to live with Tyler or whatever. Is that his name? Yeah, Tyler. It's like you kind of get this kid's perspective. This guy's a fucking loser. He doesn't really, and the thing in this book is he doesn't make any effort, like really any effort to rebuild that relationship, to get to know his son. He's like a politician. Everything is about his politics. So it's like there really was no arc to their relationship at all in this. Compared to like Tal Bauer's You and I, or You and Me, where like the guy doesn't have a good relationship with the son, but he's working through the entire book to try and build that relationship, and it made it such an emotional and impactful story. This does not have that. This is very surface level, trying to make it taboo with it being his teacher, and then like just a bunch of sex. So they have a lot of hot sex. Didn't care about it, was bored by it. The way he talked to her, the way, just how she reacted, I just wasn't into it. And then I got really annoyed because this is what bugged me about a couple of the, after Corrupt, which I really loved, I felt like Penelope Douglas was just throwing in sharing scenes to elevate like the sex and have more intense sex. And she did that again in this. It didn't go as far, obviously, but like there's a scene where she's at a club with her coworker and they're like dancing together. And then all of a sudden they start to decide to kiss in front of him to like turn him on or make him jealous. And then he's into it. So she's like, oh, okay, kiss her. And she has him kiss her. And she starts pulling away like she doesn't want to be a part of it. So it was like she was completely like testing him and then didn't like her reaction and was kind of trying to push him away by like having him fuck around with the girl in front of her, and it pissed him off, rightfully so. And I was just like, why are we even having this scene in here? Like, it really doesn't add anything to the story. It's just to add another spicy sharing element to a book. And they did that in like the Nightfall book, and I thought it was so bad that like I don't know what Penelope Douglas is doing here. Like she's just writing a spicy book. So like I don't really have a lot to say. Like it's basically she's his parent, like she's his son's teacher, and she hooks up with the dad secretly. They get like hook up for like when there's a big storm. She goes and stays with him. They hook up there. He's kind of keeping it secret, but not fully keeping it secret. It's just a hot fucking mess. And then like he was keeping it secret because he thought his son would be upset, and his son ended up knowing the whole time. And so it was just very anticlimactic. Another one of my issues was all of a sudden we're throwing in this suspense element of like her having some kind of stalker or somebody going into her house, and she thinks, because you find out that her trauma was like from when she was younger. Her tennis coach had like kind of groomed her and then became obsessed with her, and so she went through a lot with that. Then she lost both of her parents, and she all of a sudden has some type of OCD, but it's barely brought up, and like not really, it doesn't even feel like full OCD to me. It feels like it was just thrown in there. And what really annoyed me with the OCD thing too was that like all of a sudden her being with him, she wasn't doing her OCD things anymore. And I was like, okay, she's not even going to therapy to deal with her shit. She's not dealing, like actually working therapy through with her OCD. So I hate that when they do that in books. And then so this random stalker thing, she thinks like, who could it be? And it ends up being her brother because he was jealous of her getting all the attention from being pro tennis player, and now she's going to be with this politician. And it made absolutely no fucking sense. And they threw a likable character where they had a good relationship as brother and sister, and they just made him like kind of the villain, but like in a pathetic way. And it just was so stupid. Like, it didn't even need this. It really made me just not like the book even more. So I just had so many issues with this book. I hated it. I'm probably going to give it a 1.5 stars. Maybe round it up to 2 stars on Goodreads. It was bad. And the narration was fucking atrocious. Like, horrible narration. The female narrator was so bad in this. So this is my first failure out of my 12 arcs from 12 friends, and I'm kind of like wondering if I'm into Penelope Douglas anymore, because I just don't get it. Like, this was so surface level, no character growth. Like, their relationship was just all sex and no emotion. So anyways, I didn't love this book. This was a big failure for me. But I don't know. I don't even know what else to say. Like, it was very disappointing. So, let me see if I have anything else from my notes. Okay, so there's not really anything else I need to add. It's just me complaining about the smut. So I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. We'll see how I feel about Penelope Douglas in the future, but it's not like an auto by author for me at this point because it's very just surface level sexual stuff and just trying to be shocking with sex or like make it taboo, and it really wasn't. And I just didn't even like these characters and they had zero connection. So anyways, that's it for this vlog. Hopefully this is a pretty short one, and hopefully the next book will be a better experience. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and let me know if you've read this book and what you thought. And I will see you guys on the next one.